Live from Fox 35 News, you're watching Good Day Orlando.
And right now at 7, a live look inside Orlando International Airport. It's a busy morning, hundreds scrambling to get home. What travelers are dealing with on one of the busiest travel weeks of the year.
And damage, devastation, and heartache after storms tear across the South.
Look at all that debris. Oh my God.
Recovery efforts are now underway. We're going to share how people are coping this morning.
Yeah, look at that. Plus, after more than 9 months in space, will this finally be the week that 2 stranded astronauts get to come home? We've got a timeline of that mission, and it's getting closer for sure.
And they're very happy about that, I am sure. Good morning to you, Central Florida. It certainly is good to see you as always on this Monday morning. Did you have a good weekend? I hope so. I'm glad you're with us this morning. I'm Danielle.
I'm Rodney Elijah. Busy weekend for a lot. Busy weather day yesterday. And Brooks, I know from North Florida all the way through Central Florida, we saw bad weather. We didn't get a lot of rain in our area, but it was rough.
Right. Yeah, yesterday was a Fox 35 storm alert day for the potential of the severe weather, and we had a couple of severe storm warnings, a couple of tornado warnings in Sumter County. Fortunately, as far as I know, nothing verified, so there wasn't actually any impacts, which is very good. But as far as the rain goes, we kind of got the short end of it in some of our counties here in Central Florida, while others got a surplus, like Brevard County getting big downpours, as well as big downpours up across North Central Florida and the Tampa Bay region. We're kind of like in this little bubble. But that said, we've got high pressure moving in, and that means very dry air moving in as well, eliminating any meaningful rain chances over the next 7 to 10 days. Cold front now offshore, and that's pushing the thunderstorms offshore as well. So lots of sunshine this week. Good news for outdoor plans for spring breakers. We could use a good soaking, though, around the landscape. Unfortunately, our fire danger is going pretty high this week because of the growing drought and the windy conditions today with the low humidity. Everything's quiet on Fox 35 Storm Tracker radar locally. The storms now across South Florida are primarily moving offshore after some earlier big storms in West Palm. It's 63 now in Orlando, and winds are gusting about 30 miles an hour. So getting out the door this morning, we'll see temperatures in the 50s through 9, warming up to about 70 by 4. For the biker crowd out there, it'll be a chilly morning, but a nice afternoon. Coming up, we'll talk about the rest of this big spring break week for so many kids around the region. All right, Jessica, how's it looking right now in the world of our Skyfox traffic?
Well, I really thought that the roadways were going to be a little quieter given the fact that it is spring break and we have lots of kids off of school, but it looks like lots of people are still heading to work or wherever their destination might be this morning. Here's a live view of our Lake Mary Tower cam. We can see that there is some congestion taking place on I-4 as you're heading into the downtown Orlando area. So I-4 westbound, eastbound lanes moving along just fine. So as you're heading away from Orlando, maybe towards the Daytona area, you're in really good shape. But when it comes to those drive times, still up to about a 42-minute drive from Daytona to Orlando, so not bad at all. It's about a 7-minute commute if you're on the 408 westbound from the 417 to downtown, and then Champions Gate to downtown. We're starting to see that number climb a bit up to about 27 minutes. I'd go ahead and give yourself about 35 minutes at least on I-4 eastbound. All right, I'll send it back over to you, Ryan and Danielle.
Jessica, thanks. Maybe they're all going to the airport because it's a busy day at the Orlando International Airport.
They always say get there 2 hours before.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. We know we're in the middle of spring break. On top of that, hundreds of flights were canceled or delayed yesterday due to weather.
Fox 35's Morgan Parrish joining us live at MCO this morning. Morgan, good morning to you. So what are you seeing out there? As I see behind you, it's crowded, but it's not like super duper crowded right now.
Danielle, good morning. That's right. Yeah, it's not too bad. Honestly, it hasn't been packed all morning. This wait time, it's been pretty consistent, 25 to about 29 minutes. Now, I'm sure later on it's going to be packed, but yeah, not too bad this morning. We know yesterday it was a headache as people were scrambling with all those delays and cancellations. But I want you guys to take a look at the radar when it looked like yesterday. That was when the FAA issued a ground stop for several hours, and the agency grounded those flights because of strong winds that could cause dangerous turbulence and widespread lightning in the area. So Jovita was flying Spirit. She says that she wasn't offered any meal vouchers. They didn't help her with her hotel. Her kids are over there sleeping. So she's not thrilled. And she's just one of several people who are dealing with those delays and cancellations. We did reach out to Spirit for comment, but they haven't responded to us yet. Now, airport officials say that it is expected to still be busy this week because we still are in that spring break period. So hopefully everybody gets back on their flights today, those flights that were pushed from yesterday. But again, right now, still not too hectic at the airport. So hopefully it stays like this. For now, reporting live from MCO, I'm Morgan Parrish, Fox 35 News.
All right, thanks so much, Morgan. 7:04, close to 40 people are dead this morning after a powerful storm system swept across most of the United States. That system sparked dust storms and wildfires and dozens of violent tornadoes. That video is from Missouri when a tornado touched down Friday night. This morning, many people will return to see the damage for the very first time. Fox 25's Caroline Coles is following this story for us in the Alert Center this morning. And Caroline, as I look at those images there, it was really bad.
Yeah, nothing but devastation, really hard to see. And because of this, a state of emergency is now in effect for several states dealing with a long cleanup process. Now, later on this morning at 8 o'clock, we're going to have a live report from Alabama tracking the recovery there. And if you don't have it already, this is a great time to download our Fox 35 Storm Team Weather app. That way you can get notifications sent straight to your phone. Reporting live here in the studio this morning, I'm Caroline Coles, Fox 35 News.
More happening today. The trial is scheduled to start for a man connected to a deadly road rage shooting. Investigators say Nicholas Carrasquillo shot and killed a man on East Colonial Drive last January. Court records show Carrasquillo is being charged with second-degree murder and shooting into an occupied vehicle. That trial scheduled to start at 9 a.m.
Well, friends and family gathered to remember the man who was shot and killed by Orange County deputies. Were told that he was actually the one who called deputies for help. So Luis Lopez was last month inside his own home. Deputies arrived to find him holding a suspected intruder in a headlock. They say they thought Lopez had a knife, so they shot at him. Weeks later, deputies say they didn't find a knife at the scene. Those at the vigil say they're still having a tough time understanding why things like this in that way.
The call for justice at the end of the day is coming from them, right? And what we are, Orlando Against Police Crimes, we see ourselves as supporting them and fighting alongside them in that fight for justice.
Well, Christian Contreras, the man police say broke into Lopez's home, is now charged with second-degree murder. Deputies say it was his actions that led to Lopez's death. FDLE is investigating that shooting. Meanwhile, shifting gears, 2 astronauts who've been stuck in space for more than 9 months. They could start their journey home as soon as tomorrow.
And not a day too soon. Today, NASA is hoping to close the hatch on the spacecraft that will bring Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams back down to Earth. According to NASA, the crew could begin to undock from the ISS just after 1 a.m. on Tuesday. If everything goes according to plan, the capsule will splash down off the Florida coast that same day. Just before 6 p.m., this mission has been months in the making. Wilmore and Williams went up to space last June, you might remember, and they were only supposed to be there for 8 days, but they've been there ever since.
And Houston, thank you for tuning in this early morning. It was a wonderful day. Great to see our friends arrive. So thank you so much.
And NASA says it is keeping a very close eye on the weather at the splashdown sites, which will determine when the 2 astronauts can return to Earth.
So when they come back, they'll be the second longest stay on Earth ever. They're only about 90 days short of the record, but I'm sure they're okay to...
They don't want that extra 90 days.
Silver medal's just fine.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, coming up, if you're pouring your cup of coffee this morning, you might want to check your fridge.
The popular creamer that is getting recalled, we'll have that for you just ahead. And there's trouble brewing half a world away that threatens baby penguins. We're talking about an iceberg that is the size of, get this, Rhode Island. That story is just ahead. Also, let's check in with Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Brooks Garner. Brooks, good morning.
Good morning, Danielle. Well, the storm threat is over, but now we face busy wind, low humidity, and temperatures warm enough to prompt a fire weather warning for today. Open burning is highly discouraged. We'll take a look at our spring break weather forecast for this week. Overall sunshine will be the rule. Coming up.
See our entire inventory at Lexus of Winter Park or lexusoforlando.com.
Fox 35 is the #1 late news.
We are following 2 big breaking stories.
We are in western Jackson County.
I am Sheriff Chitwood, and I hope you enjoy your stay here.
I'm Michael Jordan's son. I'm not doing anything wrong.
We spent all day calling, emailing, texting.
You could get addicted and you could die. He was my son.
Just like that, your life can alter.
It is a case that has captured so many hearts.
The teacher's attorney wants all charges dropped immediately.
Depend on Fox 35 News.
And welcome back. Today marks 1 week since that EF2 tornado touched down in parts of Seminole County. The storm tore up several homes, especially in Longwood. County officials say because there's so much debris to collect, it will take some time to do it all. The county also says they've placed several dumpsters across Longwood and Lake Mary for construction debris.
And just a reminder, this is what the storm looked like at our studio in Lake Mary. You see debris flying around as the tornado went past. Several tree branches, of course, came out, and we had only minor damage storm. So very fortunate there, Brooks. But boy, we're going to remember those images for a long time.
Yeah, and the hour of 9:40 a.m. when that tornado struck. Just so glad nobody was killed, much less injured. It could have gone south so fast with all of the flying debris and the damage that happened there in Longwood. So thankful everybody was okay. Well, weather-wise today, quite the opposite weather. Very quiet, high pressure in the northern Gulf, as well as a passing cold front means that not only things will be sunny here, but they'll be very dry, absolutely free of any semblance of a raindrop, much less a cloud. In fact, in the Villages, it's going to be sunny all day, but cooler than normal by about 10 degrees. A delightful afternoon, I say, with about 58 at 10 and 66 at 4. One of those days you can go out and stroll, go out on the golf cart, not have to worry about any kind of a prospect of sweating, and you can wear a light sweatshirt or a windbreaker, track jacket, and be good to go. It's going to be one of those just beautiful days, but yes, cooler than normal. Not traditional spring break weather as far as like at the beach sizzling in the sun, but we got more of that on the way before this week is out. Everything's quiet locally on Fox 35 Storm Tracker radar, except for in South Florida, where we've had some severe storms this morning move through West Palm. Those are now offshore over the Gulf Stream waters. 60 in Leesburg right now, 60 degrees. As you go south toward St. Cloud and Hualapa, we're up to 63 right now in St. Cloud proper. And winds out of the northwest about 30 to 35 miles per hour in wind gusts right now. The gusty winds with low humidity and a worsening drought leading to a fire weather warning for our region today. This means that open burning is very, very much discouraged. Could be dangerous. Any kind of flame that escapes, if you will, whether it's like an old campfire or a pile burn on a farm, any of those embers could cause a brush fire or worse. So definitely not the day for that. Now we've got a severe drought setting up officially from Lake County into Sumter, also Citrus, Hernando, Pasco counties, with a moderate drought in Orlando. Not unusual this time of year. We're at the peak of the dry season, and once we get into the regular rains in May and June, just several months away, that'll quickly alleviate. As far as the forecast wind gusts, we'll see gusts between about 25 and 30 miles an hour, just below wind advisory criteria, but we'll see how that goes. Future clouds and radar. Our next weather maker comes on Thursday. It's a weak cold front that may produce a couple of showers. There's about a 20% chance, but otherwise all week long, high and dry with bright sunshine. Today's high temperature, 70 in Orlando, 70 in Titusville, 68 at Daytona Beach. If you're going to the beaches today, the key to stay warm is just to stay out of the breeze. If you have one of those big sail things, not like the umbrella, but the whole sail where you can kind of hide from the wind. All right, traveling today, it's going to be pretty warm as you head out toward Texas. Highs in the low 80s up toward Dallas, around 80 in Houston. Memphis 67. Atlanta on the cool side, 6.5 hours up the road at just 59 degrees. Miami today topping out at 78 degrees early on before temperatures fall this afternoon to around 70. All right, let's talk 7-day forecast. It is St. Patrick's Day. We're going to have a warm one as far as the context of the United States goes with 70 degrees, but cool in the context of Central Florida because we're going to have to wait until Wednesday and Thursday to get back to that more proper beach weather. So if you have any plans at the water parks, it'll be doable tomorrow, but it'll be a lot more comfortable Wednesday and Thursday. Then cooling down Friday behind that front, and that means chilly weather as far as any kind of beach or pool plans goes, but then we rebound right back to the 80s by the weekend. We need the rain, but in the hopes of a sunny spring break, by and large, this is a good week here across Florida. Well, let's take a look at our drumroll, Stop the Sun. This is from Michael Evans in Palm Bay out of his kitchen window. Nice shot there with the sun rising and the silhouetted palm trees and pine trees and oak trees. We'd love to feature your photos. Go to fox35orlando.com/sapthesun. Upload your pictures there. We'll feature them here on Good Day Orlando. Easy to use website, takes just a minute, and it's fun seeing your picture with the millions of people watching Good Day Orlando. All right, Jessica, that's no exaggeration. How's it looking in the roads this morning?
No pressure, right? Yeah. All right, let's talk about, though, this incident where we know at least some of the right lanes are closed off, if not all of the lanes on I-75 northbound. So this is going to be due to a crash that has traffic backed up all the way through parts of Sumter County and close to Wildwood and on the Turnpike near Wildwood in the Coleman area. So this is going to be just to the south of the Villages. So if you're maybe trying to head on the I-75 northbound, if you're trying to head northbound on the Turnpike, you're likely going to run into some delays. And we can see that traffic is moving at a crawl, and this is going to be kind of at the interchange where the Turnpike and I-75 kind of merge together there. So that's going to be a spot where you want to give yourself some extra time, if not completely avoid that particular area, just because of the level of delays we're seeing. Now, I do, though, want to talk about another area where we're seeing some delays. This is going to be on I-4 eastbound. Pretty typical typical this time of morning near Champions Gate to US 27. We are seeing a good amount of delays there, so give yourself plenty of time. It's pretty typical this time of morning, yes, but we're up to an hour commute already from US 27 to downtown, so I would definitely give yourself at least an hour, maybe an hour and 15 if you're going to be moving in from the US 27 area to downtown Orlando. All right, it's 7:19 and time now for a look at our gas prices with Pump Patrol. And really, if you wake up early with us, that's where you get the best prices, because we're up to $3.09, still not too bad, cheaper than what I've been seeing. $3.09 in Winter Garden. This is going to be at the Mobile on West Colonial Drive. Still a pretty good deal, but if you want to save some cash while you're filling up, you can head over to our website, fox35orlando.com, to find more great deals. All right, Danielle, Ryan, I'll send it back over to you.
All right, still ahead on Good Day Orlando. Your dog is not just good for you.
It's also good for more than their physical fitness. We're going to explain that when we come back. Also, inflation, vacation. Do you want to get away? Chances are it's going to cost you more than an arm and a leg to do it. We'll tell you the decision Americans are now making when it comes to flying the friendly skies. Stay with us. Good Day Orlando will continue.
The Fox 35 Storm Team Thunder Truck is sponsored by Renewal by Anderson.
Gaga and Mariah receive iHeart's top honors. The iHeart Radio Music Awards, live tonight on Fox.
Literally a picture-perfect sunrise as we take a live look through our Hard Rock Hotel camera in Daytona Beach. The water pretty flat out there this morning. I do see some people
Looks like they got a blanket out there. I mean, okay, that's a good way to start a Monday morning.
Why not, especially if you're on spring break?
I'm very jealous.
I know, right? When we see this shot, we're always like, oh, we wish it was us. But here we are on the anchor desk, and so glad you are with us this morning. Let's talk about coffee drinkers. Now, listen up. 75,000 bottles of International Delight coffee creamers are being recalled after reports of spoilage and making people sick. The Cinnabon Classic and Cinnamon Roll and Hazelnut flavors are all being recalled. They were sold in 31 states, including right here in the state of Florida.
Of course, a lot of Americans want a vacation right now. They crave the fun of the sun, but higher prices causing some issues. Ongoing inflation causing prices to stay high, and that's causing some to alter their travel plans, especially when flights are involved because they're more expensive, instead of opting to stay home.
What we might be expecting would be something people choosing for shorter trips or closer destinations, but so that even though they can spend less money, but they still satisfy the need for a good vacation.
So that could mean trading in a boarding pass for the highway when they finally get to their destination. Experts say they're spending money on experiences instead of relying on resorts for entertainment. On the Health Watch, a new study confirming what most people already know, that playing with our dogs make us feel better. Researchers in Thailand saying dogs, even playing with them 15 minutes a day, can significantly reduce a person's stress level. Who would argue that? It's good for the dogs also. The study showed human play interaction reduces a dog's cortisol levels also.
I love it. That is awesome. My dog is so social. Boy, he wants to be everywhere we are.
Oh, yeah. And that's why you see therapy dogs a lot, you know, where they take them different places. So good stuff. Man's best friend. Up next on Good Day Orlando, Congress narrowly avoiding a government shutdown, but it could be a cost for Democrats who voted alongside Republicans.
Well, our political analyst will join us to break down the very latest from Washington when we come back.
Live from Fox 35 News, you're watching Good Day Orlando.
And right now at 7:30, it is spring break for most of Central Florida. There's a look at the cruise ships. There are 5 in port today. Nice morning on the water as well. Weather shaping up, looking good for the rest of the week.
That looks great out there. And good morning to you, Central Florida. Thank you so much for joining us here in our 7:30 half hour. Hope you're doing all right this morning. I'm Danielle Knox.
I'm Roddy Elijah. So some locals will try to avoid the theme parks and the tourist district this week.
It's going to be crowded.
Others, they're flocking right to it. It's part of their spring break plans. Let's check in on the Brooks right now and see how the weather shaping up. A little bit of a cooler start to our week.
It sure is. Yeah, as far as this being classic spring break beach weather, not so much. We're only going to see highs today in the upper 60s on the water and around 70 inland as high pressure moves in from the west, scouring out all that early season humidity and heat from yesterday. And of course, the severe storm threat we endured yesterday with a variety of severe weather warnings throughout our Sunday afternoon. But for today, it's all about the sunshine. 58 degrees on the cool side at 9 o'clock for the bikers, and the 60. Beachgoers alike up to 70 by 4. A chilly morning, a nice afternoon, but definitely cooler than normal. And with the wind blowing, it's going to feel pretty chilly. We could have gusts over 35 miles per hour today. Chilly but delightful, kind of all at the same time, feeling like springtime. But I guess it's spring break. It's not summer break. That said, we'll have some classic spring break beach weather coming up later this week. I'll show you when that happens in just a bit. In the meantime, though, it's time for our Skyfox traffic with Jessica.
Hey, good morning, Brooks. We are seeing some delays. This is going to be in the Champions Gate area again, as I've been kind of talking about all morning, but also we're seeing some of these backups build into the area of the attraction. So this is where we're starting to see a lot more in the way of delays. So give yourself a couple of extra minutes. So far, we're just in the yellow, but we're pretty close to hitting the red if you are going to be moving in from Champions Gate specifically. But from Lake Mary to downtown, about 20 minutes, so not too bad in terms of delays. Attractions into downtown, about 17 minutes, so a couple of extra minutes needed, but you're still in the green, and then up to around 34 minutes from Champions Gate to downtown. I'd go ahead and give yourself about 45 minutes just so you have some extra wiggle room in there, so that way you can reach your destination on time and safely. All right, 7:32. I'll send it back over to you, Ryan and Danielle.
We appreciate you, Jess. Thanks so much for that. A live look now out at Orlando International Airport this morning. It could be a very busy day here. Yesterday was supposed to be the second busiest day of the spring break travel period, but the weather caused a ground stop and several flights were delayed or even canceled. Fox 35's Morgan Parrish will join us live in our next half hour with more on this.
It's as busy as we've seen it all morning.
It's
been a steady flow.
And going to get busier for sure. Gunshots on Daytona Beach, sending a crowd of people running in panic. 2 people were hit, but they are expected to be okay this morning.
Yeah, all of this happened Saturday near the boardwalk along Atlantic Avenue, and Amanda McKenzie has been live there all morning and joins us with the latest on this investigation. Amanda, just kind of chaos there for a short period.
That's right, and officials say this all happened because of an unsanctioned beach party around 7:30 on Saturday evening. This was right next to the Ocean Walk Vacation Club and Hotel. This is just a short distance away from the iconic Daytona Beach Band Shell, which is a popular place for tourists and locals alike. Others staying in the nearby hotels say they got alerts about the danger. Police continued searching the bushes and grass along the boardwalk for evidence and talking with possible witnesses. Officials say several witnesses have been interviewed, and this is an ongoing investigation. If you have any information, you're encouraged to contact Daytona Police. Reporting live from Daytona Beach, Amanda McKenzie, Fox 35 News.
Amanda, thank you so much. In Orlando, police there say a drug deal may have led to a shooting at the Nassau Bay apartment complex that is on North Orange Blossom Trail and Rosamond Drive. Officers say Jared Kinlock was found with a gunshot wound. Kinlock was taken to a local hospital where he later passed away. Police are still searching for the gunman.
Happening right now, police in Altamont Springs looking for a man they say attacked women at night. Multiple women. All the attacks have been around State Road 436 near Wymore Road and Douglas Avenue. That's a busy stretch just west of I-4. Police releasing this video of one of the incidents. So you see the suspect there pacing the parking lot. Police say he's assaulted 3 women in separate attacks. Each victim was walking alone. The suspect described as a white or Hispanic male between the ages of 20 and 30 years old. He's about 6 feet tall with a slim build. There could be additional victims out there. Police asking anyone who might have information to come forward. 7:40 is the time. Still ahead this morning. Of course, we know spring break is underway for a lot of local students. Up next, we're going to talk to a safety expert about advice you can share with your kids if you are out and about. 20 minutes before 8 o'clock.
Around the clock.
Depend on us, the Fox 35 Storm Team.
Wake up with me on Good Day Orlando. I'll prepare you for your day ahead so you have everything you need before you head out the door.
Then when the day winds down, join me weeknights on Fox 35 News and know what's coming.
From morning
to night, depend on the Fox 35 Storm Team.
Good Day Orlando is sponsored by Gary Yeomans Ford. Today's Weather Baby is sponsored by attorney Dan Newlin.
Gaga and Mariah receive iHeart's top honors. The iHeart Radio Music Awards, live tonight on Fox.
Welcome back. Good to be with you on a Monday morning. 7:43. The Seminole Town Center has finally been sold. That struggling mall closed in January. Ardent Companies bought the acres of land on the mall that sits in Sanford. Ardent saying it plans to develop the building with some retail stores. They'll have multi-family homes and a hotel.
47 is the time, and it's going to be a good weather day as we turn things over to Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Brooks Carter. Hello, sir.
Good morning, Danielle. Happy Monday. It is St. Patrick's Day. The sun is rising over Lake Fairview. A live view from the Grills Lakeside camera. Our severe weather threat from yesterday is now history, and we look forward to a generally quiet week ahead and a good spring break. It's 60 degrees right now at Lake Fairview. Winds gusting at over 37 miles an hour, though, in Orlando right now, 38 miles per hour in Leesburg. So it is windy out there this morning. Our weather spotters are recording some cooler air today, not as muggy as it was yesterday. Steve Schaefer, Bellevue, 58 degrees. Joel Mathis, Claremont with 59. Jeffrey J. in Deltona has 60 this morning. Farther to the south, we've got on Cocoa Beach, 66 for Julie. And over in Cocoa, Steve Hurst also has 66 degrees. Gene, as I mentioned, has 62 degrees there in Deltona, just like Jeffrey. So our temperatures running about 10 to 15 degrees cooler now than they were yesterday at this time because the cold fronts moved through. Well, it is Monday, March 17th. It's St. Patrick's Day. Spring break for most school districts across the region. And Sumter County, I think, is the exception on that one. 58 at 8, up to 61 at 10, and by noon, 63 degrees. A slow warm up today. High temperatures running 10 degrees cooler than normal. This cold front has moved through. High pressure across the northern Gulf, pushing a much drier air, as illustrated with these reds and oranges. That dry air, though, combined with the breezy weather and the drought out there, is going to really up our fire danger around the region. Right now, there's no rain to speak of locally. That is a big change from overnight when we had all the storms there pushing through Brevard County and down to South Florida. But the National Weather Service today has issued a fire weather warning for gusty winds, low humidity, and worsening drought. So all those factors combined mean that if there's like any kind of a source of fire with the wind blowing, it could go out of control pretty fast, right? Think about prescribed burns. Sometimes on farms, there's big piles of brush that get burned on occasion. Not the day to do that. In fact, severe drought from Lake County through Sumter, also into Citrus, Hernando, Pasco counties, with moderate drought now for Orlando, for all of Seminole County, into Volusia and Flagler counties. That's pretty typical for this time of year. I mean, we don't really get big rain until May or June, and once we get into that early summer season, we'll get back to the rainy season, extinguishing this drought. Until then, our only rain chance comes on Thursday with a weak cold front passing through. Weak in the sense of the rainfall production potential. We're only going to see a few hundredths of an inch on Thursday from that system, but it will cool us down from the mid-80s midweek back down to highs like today, closer to 70 degrees. So highs today will reach 70 in Orlando, 67 in Ocala, and 71 degrees in Melbourne. In the 7-day forecast, we go from 70 today to a delightful 77 tomorrow. That's going to be a beautiful day for us. 82 degrees on Wednesday, 84 on Thursday. Thursday, that chance for rain at 20%, knocking us back down to about 70 for the high before we rebound back into the low 80s. You know, these cooler nights like tonight with the 40s will be one of the last ones this season before we get into a much more regular and much warmer weather setup. Well, it's time for a weather baby this morning at 10 minutes to 8 on this Monday. And Catherine from Rockledge in Brevard County seeing this picture of 3-month-old Lance, who loves to smile and be silly. He especially loves to be rocked. Who doesn't? That's great. I love that picture. And we love weather babies. Go to fox35orlando.com/weatherbabies. Upload your photos and we'll share your bundle of joy with the world. All right, Jessica, the world is watching those roads. We got places to be, people to see.
That's right, yeah, especially for any sort of spring break travel plans you might have. We do have a vehicle fire. This is going to be Avalon Road in the northbound direction. So this is going to be not too far off from the 429 there. So just keep that in mind. Also not too far off from the Earl Bronson Memorial Highway. So if you're maybe heading to the airport, speaking of travel plans, so far we're in the green. If you're on the beach line from Cocoa to OIA, you're looking at around a 29-minute drive. So good shape there. Winter Garden to the airport, about 21 minutes on the Turnpike southbound, and then Lake Mary to the airport, about 26 minutes on the 417. So all in all, you're in pretty good shape, especially if you are taking the toll roads. But if that changes, I'll be sure to keep you posted. Until then, we will have much more Good Day Orlando coming up after the break. Don't go far.
The Mission Control Camera is sponsored by Launch Credit Union.
the camera's shaking.
Look, but a good look. That's Epic Universe. Obviously, our camera kind of blowing at that point. But when we look at Epic Universe, they are now having kind of soft opens, if you will. They've got employees and even their family members trying out some of the rides. We are now about 2 months away. May 22nd is when that new park opens.
That shaky camera looked like a little roller coaster ride.
See, now
there.
it's calmed down.
Okay, there we go. That's the end of the ride.
That's right. For some people, it's a bumpy ride. Let's go to downtown Ocala, throwing a St. Patrick's Day party featuring the world-famous Budweiser Clydesdales. Starts at 5 o'clock. The 8 horses are going to parade through the streets for some great photo opportunities. Along the way, they're also going to make several stops at bars and restaurants for special deliveries.
All right, so what's the big buzz about St. Patrick's Day anyway? Apparently, it's more people are passing on the booze on this day. Some bar owners in Boston are saying that they're seeing a change in how some people celebrate Irish culture in America. The tradition is somewhat moving away from chasing down whiskey to celebrating solely sober spaces. More people are taking part in parades and festivals and banquets without drinking alcohol.
I'd see the difference in younger people drinking non-alcohol. Maybe people in their 30s to 40 age, I'd call that young now, would be drinking mocktails and non-alcohol beers.
And some bar owners and managers are also saying most establishments now serve non-alcoholic drinks, a significant shift from decades ago. Well, Good Day Orlando at 8 a.m. starts in just a couple of minutes.
We are both sticking around. Here's what's coming up in that hour. Devastating tornadoes ripping across the south, killing dozens as well. Coming up, we're going to take you live to one of the areas that was hit the hardest.
Plus, their mission is finally almost over. How those stranded astronauts, Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams, could make it home just in time for dinner tomorrow. All right, let's take a live look now through our Lake Mary Tower camera. Ooh, if you're heading into downtown Orlando, it's moving a little slow out there this morning, but that is to be expected as we are well into the morning commute on this Monday. We'll be right back.